If I were rating the cost of this desk setup on a scale from McDonald's dollar menu to a 3 Michelin star restaurant, I would say this fits comfortably in the all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue range. The theme of my home office space over the past year or so has been minimalism. But not necessarily because I'm a minimalistic bitch, but rather because I am currently still a renter and not a homeowner. So that means I am moving about every 12 months or so. And on top of that, I do currently live in Boston, but the plan is to move back home to California in a few years' time. So that means everything that I buy will eventually be sold or thrown away. So keeping that perspective in mind, today I wanted to share my desk setup. Starting off with the foundation, I have a black FlexiSpot EC1 standing desk that measures 55 inches wide and 28 inches deep because the bigger the better. With a price tag of $245, the cost is also very much in line with my semi-budget conscious theme. I did my due diligence when exploring various standing desks, and this one emerged as the winner in terms of balancing cost and quality. It's not as stable as higher end standing desks, but honestly, it could just be that I didn't screw things in very properly when assembling the desk. Next, let's talk about the tech that powers my desk. My personal laptop is a 16-inch MacBook Pro with an Intel processor, and my work laptop is a 14-inch MacBook Pro with an M1 chip. I love both, but the battery life on the M1 chip is truly insane. Because I switch between my personal and work laptop on a regular basis, I use this $25 laptop stand from Amazon, where I store one laptop underneath the other laptop that is in use. To make it easier to switch between my two laptops, I have the Anker 575 USB-C docking station to minimize the number of plugs that I have to take in and out. This docking station is currently sold for $250, and honestly, I don't understand why it has to be so expensive, but nonetheless, I do like it. My one pain point is that with my MacBook, I can actually only connect to one external monitor, meaning that I have to separately plug in the cord for my second monitor. However, I did learn that this is more of an Apple issue rather than an issue with my docking station because the Apple hardware does not support dual external monitors the same way that PCs do. On top of that, some of the newer docking stations that do allow MacBooks to connect to more than one monitor are actually only compatible with M1 or M2 chips. But since I have both Intel and M1,
it ain't gonna work anyway.
So despite the cost, I decided to keep this docking station for now because everything else about it is great, and I particularly love that it has an SD card reader. To increase my screen real estate, I use the 27-inch Dell monitor with FHD resolution that costs $190 and a 24-inch Asus monitor that's actually an old hand-me-down with not that great resolution. However, I didn't pay for it, so I figured I would put it to use. I arranged them vertically and horizontally, honestly because my monitors are different sizes and I didn't want it to look unbalanced had both of them been horizontal. But this arrangement works perfectly anyway since I still use my laptop, and using both monitors horizontally would have made the setup a little bit too wide. The monitors are held up using a $60 dual monitor stand from Amazon, which I prefer much more than the regular stands that the monitors come with, just because you get so much more desk space. And again, I didn't buy this big ass desk for no reason. One of my favorite parts of my desk setup is my audio situation. I use the HyperX Quadcast S microphone, which cost me around $140 to sound extra crispy in my work meetings. My mic sits on a $100 Elgato Wave low-profile microphone arm, and I have used a cheaper boom arm in the past, but it took up a little bit of unnecessary space, so I splurged a little bit more for this low-profile setup that enables me to tuck everything away when it's not in use, while simultaneously looking a lot sleeker than my old one. I use the speakers on my Mac laptops the most frequently because the sound quality is honestly great for meetings, watching YouTube videos, or just listening to some background music. But sometimes I will use my Bose noise canceling headphones, which hangs from a phone mount that I repurposed as a headphone holder. For my mouse, I opted for a random one that I purchased on Amazon, which was only $10, and it gets the job done. My only criteria at the time was to look for a Bluetooth mouse that was compatible with multiple devices. I also chose a multi-device keyboard because I often switch between my two MacBooks and sometimes a PC. And this $80 Logitech K780 was one of the few keyboards that was compatible with both Mac and PC. An added benefit of the keyboard is that it has a phone and tablet stand attached to the top. Since it's Bluetooth enabled, I can easily rest my phone or iPad here to use the keyboard. Before moving on to the remaining non-tech and miscellaneous items, I wanted to point out my cable management tray that I purchased on Amazon. I chose a tray that clamps onto the desk instead of one that requires a drill, partially because I don't got a drill, but more importantly because this is more renter friendly. I figured that it's very possible and likely that my outlet at my next apartment will be in a different location than where it is now. So in that case, I have the freedom to move my cable management tray accordingly. Sitting on the cable management tray, I have a surge protector that connects to my monitors, docking station, phone charger, LED light strips, LED light bars, and so on. I did run out of plugs though, so my LED strip light is connected to the wall for now and it looks a little bit wonky, but I'll figure that situation out later. I tied my cables with Velcro ties to keep everything tucked away nicely. I highly recommend investing some time in cable management and getting all those cords out of sight because doing so just makes everything cleaner and a lot more inviting. I love the look of ambient lighting, so I set up my desk with some LED strip lights and two LED light bars. The strip light runs along the back and the side of my desk, while the light bars are secured to the back of my monitors in a little bit of a ghetto way. On my desk, you'll see an assortment of miscellaneous items, including a glass desk mat that is actually a repurposed piece of glass from IKEA that I decided would now be a desk mat. I also repurposed a flower vase for my pencil holder where I put my collection of pens and pencils. I love stationery, especially Asian brands, so whenever I am in Taiwan, I buy and spend an egregious amount on stationery. The quality of Asian stationery definitely beats your basic ass American Bic rollerball pen.
Bruh, chill.
And being able to take notes in all these different colors is just so much more appealing. To the right of my pencil holder, I have an acrylic organizer where I put my remaining miscellaneous items that need a home. This includes my webcam lighting, adapters, lip balm, post-it notes, and my lighter for my candles. On that note, this concludes my desk setup. All the products that I mentioned are linked in the description below, but if anyone has any suggestions on what I should add to my desk, please feel free to leave them in the comments.